What's going on, Paisanos? V here. Come at you guys, well, with another market watch today. You know, one thing in this game, to me, that always is so cool is the fact that if you are playing the best deck, you have the biggest target on your back. Everybody that's not playing your deck is looking out for you. And if you are playing your deck, in this case we could say, I guess, Virtual World or Drytron, you obviously have the best percentage of having the most consistent boards possible. But everybody knows that. Everybody knows what you want to do, and everyone's going to try to stop you at doing it. And that's what I love about this game, where even if you are the top dog, they're the top decks like Elic, Dinosaurs, they don't care. And when I mean Elic, I mean all the Elic variants. Common question of the day. I know we had a bunch of remote extravagances this past weekend. Well, number one, did you play in them? And number two, well, what deck are you playing right now? Because I'll be honest with you, I have all the decks in the game right now, minus Dinosaurs. I think I'm missing like 1 or 2 cards. But overall, all the decks in the game, and my brain is just scrambled. I don't know what to play. I'm leaning towards Elic. I don't know what variant. I like Shadows, just in general. And don't get me wrong, Drytron, I put a ton of money in that deck. And of course, with Virtual World, well, Virtual isn't that expensive as a deck. Look at that Virtual World Lulu. The card's only roughly around $19. And you might say, V? That's a good amount of money for this card. But realistically, it's not. After shipping one, the card goes up to roughly around $20. But this is like the money card in Virtual World. Of course, once again, we're taking away, like, if you're not running triple protective talents and other overlaying factors. But this is like the money card. After that, you need one Shen. It's about $5. And everything else, especially the new card, it's about 15 cents. Like, everything else is just worthless for value-wise. But this is the best deck in the game. And once again, in case you're watching on V, I don't have to protect his talents. Look at the decks this past weekend. Some of these decks didn't main the card. They just didn't use it. They're like, screw it. I'm just going to go and do what this deck's meant to do. Put up one guy on board and just ruin your life with it. So it's really interesting to see this deck be, so dominant as it is. I think we all kind of knew it was going to be. And I think by this deck being a tier 1 deck, it's going to change the mentality and the cards in a lot of players' main decks. And we'll talk about that in this video, as well as other cards with Drytons, and as well as other decks, well, that are just still really good, but really hasn't hit their stride yet. But I definitely think has the potential to do so. Other cards like, well, Paleozoic, which is seen playing in Virtual World, has been going nuts on the market, well, since its Ultimate Rare release. Arguably, its Secret Rare release. With the Collector's Rare release recently coming out as well, this card is just so much money. Real quick, I just want to say, personal belief, I always find that if I have a Collector's Rares, but I have an opportunity to have an Ultimate Rare, I will always go with the OT. The only time I think a Collector's Rare kind of beats an Ultimate Rare, if it's a collectible card, something like a Stardust Dragon, that I think the Collector's Rare beats OT for Stardust Dragon. But then you got Ghost, and that gets all convoluted. But look at that Paleozoic. If you look at the Secret version coming out of OTS 1 Pack 11 with a $61 price point because it was going low for a while, not anymore. The value is roughly around $74 to $75. Mark my words, one day this card will be over $100. I don't know when that day's coming, but it is inevitable. This is a great card. And it doesn't, besides the fact that it fits in Virtual World, it's gonna fit in other decks and it's gonna see a lot more play. Then we're talking about other cards in like Virtual World that are siding. I mean, in the extra deck. One of them is Constellar telling me M7. If you have the gold rare, that doesn't do anything. Dual Saga is like $1. The secret rare starting roughly around $10. And if you have the dual tournament version with only 15 listings, $26 market price, you can get it for a little price of $22. And then it's back to $26 for Constellar telling me M7, the dual tournament version. So, Gamma's starting to see play in Virtual World. I think we're also starting to see play in a lot of other decks, Side Frame Gear Gamma. And I really wish Konami had another printing of this card. I know we got it rare. By the way, the rare Attitude Chaos is like $2. The Super Rare is roughly around $9. The Ultra Rare is at $17. And the Collector's Rare, if you want to unlimited, it's, no big deal. It's like $90. After that one's gone to, yeah, it's like $100. But if you want a first edition version, that's roughly around $141 for one. You're going to need 3, by the way. We also have Nibiru. Now, this card is definitely starting to see more play, and you can make the argument Virtual World still has some cards, it has the extra monster could play out of it, and kind of slow that down or stop it. I get that. But a Virtual World doesn't always draw the best hands. Actually, any Virtual World player, the worst thing to happen is not whatever your opponent's playing, it's your deck just bricking and going, yeah, you're just probably going to lose this game. So, set this down real quickly and pass turn, you're going to catch a whipping. eat it, man. Listen, I think Virtual War is still, like I said, a tier 1 deck, but having a Nibiru in your hand and your opponent not going into, I think it's Gospel Shadow if I'm not mistaken, one of those cards, if they can't go to that, this card breaks that board. One card, followed with another hand trap, you're gonna probably win that game if you're playing another deck like Drytron. You're gonna set your board up, you're playing something like an Eldritch variant, or Dinos, which makes it so they can't play anymore. How do they like it? Or if you're looking to play like Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc, hey, hopefully those wins do it for you, because that board's probably gonna shut you down. Or any other decks right now in the game. Looking at Nibiru, the Prime being Ultimate Rare at OTS 20 Pack 14, $76 market price. I don't know where I got that number for, because the price went starting roughly around $100. This card is slowly going back up, by the way. Within a couple of sales, it hits near $115 for Nibiru. Then we start hitting back up to $120. That was the hype price of OTS 14 releasing first, and Nibiru coming out. It was at $120. It's getting near that price point again. And then, of course, we have Triple Texas Talents, my favorite card in this game. I mean, I love this card. The fact that this card has 3 banned cards in one, with the only limiting factor of the fact that you have to activate a monster effect on my main phase, broken. In the game we're playing right now, where people are playing a ton of hand traps, or maybe people might not be playing a lot of hand traps, that's fine. I'll take this card being dead if you're not playing a lot of hand traps. But if you are playing a lot of hand traps, and you're doing the right thing by ashing me at the right time, cool. I'm going to punish you if you're doing the right thing. That's what this card says. With 3 effects, one of them being draw 2 cards, take one opponent's monsters, look at your opponent's hand. This card, out of Rise to do a secret rare, only printing Konami reprint this card with a market price of $88. The card's back up to being roughly around $95. So that's good. That's a lot of money. We have Forbidden Droplet out of Rise of Duels with a $120 market price. That card's $120 still. Why is that? Well, if you're playing Drytrons, you can play this card. But if you're playing like Eldritch, you can also play this card. Activate some of your Eldritch cards, activate any other traps, and chain Forbidden Droplet. Get free cards used. Activate a Book of Moon, put your opponent's monster face down, chain Droplet, get rid of Book of Moon, and not only is that monster going face down, that monster loses half their attack, and, oh yeah, effects negated, and, good times. Don't reach back with don't activate a spell, because you can't. Like, that card's broken, and it's $120. Rise of Zeus is such a good set, and it just sucks that we're not getting those kind of sets as much. I wish we did. I looked to go to log out the Secret Slayer's original printing with a $43 market price. It's still roughly around $41. This card one day will ultimately drop down to like $6. That day's not today. If you want secret versions of the Golden Lord, you're paying at least $41 to $44 a copy. Now that's for the secret version. Obviously, if you want the Golden version, no big deal. It's easy. $6? No, it's like it's like $6 for the Golden version. Not bad, just not secret rare. Then we're just talking about Tri-Brigade, because I really think Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc is a deck. It's almost like the boogeyman, because a lot of players like kind of know about it, but if you don't know fully about this deck, you're gonna lose this deck. Like, this deck is my favorite definition of respect my deck. If I'm playing Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc and you're thinking I'm gonna be a free win, no. This deck just shuts you down. You have to rethink your home mentality and strategy, and if you don't have the proper cards in your main deck, you're giving that game 1 to a Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc player that won the dice roll. It's that crazy. This is a phenomenal deck, and I really think a lot of players fundamentally just don't really acknowledge this deck, but you really got to understand it. I built this deck, and I'm learning this deck, and this is not even a deck I want to play, to be honest with you, but I want to understand it, and I want to learn it, because this deck can catch you looking. Know what this deck does. If not, you're the bot to this deck. Then we have Artemis that matches. Oh, by the way, hold on. Price points. Fractal, which used to be roughly around $8, went up to $10, and now it's currently roughly around, well, the market's showing to be roughly around $15. The card kind of calmed down, I guess. $14 for Fractal. You're going to need 3 of this, by the way. And if you want to get the other cards, they're relatively inexpensive after that. You need Shurax, 2 of them, that's like $10. Farrajet, you need 2 of them, that's like $10. And Kid, the new card coming out of Blazing Vortex, is $1. Everything else on that is just chump change. Then we're looking at Artemis, the Matches Moon Maiden. Now, someone comment down below, let me know what this card does, because I don't know why people are playing it, but people are playing it. I don't know. I gotta read the card better, I guess. I'm not good at reading cards, but this card just impact with a $5.50 market price for the ultra rare. And then if you want the collector's rare version of the card with a $46 market price, it's actually getting jacked up. It's roughly around $55 for a card with a $46 price point. I would read this effect, but my mind jumbles the words around, because that's a lot of words. Then we have Magician's Souls coming out, Legend Duelist Magical Hero with an $87 market price. This card, well, looking at it right now, if you want German versions, $73. But if you want an English version from a verifiable seller, it's gonna run you. Hold on, I'm gonna go to the next page because those are Germans. For the unlimited, at $90. For first edition versions, also roughly around $90 for Magician Souls. This card's good. I think, okay, this could be whatever, but I think if Elite players, if we had Magician Souls getting like a super rare reprint, some whatever set, or maybe from Ghost of the Past it gets an ultra rare reprint, which would be kind of crazy. I think we would see more Elite players playing Magician Souls. The fact that they're not playing it means that they're just saving themselves $270. I don't blame them. I mean, come on. But if every player had access to this card, we would see a lot more builds, more than likely playing this card because it's that good. And it gives you that much more advantage in the game state if you're looking to play like an L-Lick deck, let's say, for instance. So I really like this card a lot. I personally don't own it. Once again, $270 is a lot of money. But it is a phenomenal card. And like I said, if everyone has access to this card, it would definitely change the competitive meta by getting a reprint. That's how kind of, and this is the thing about Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh! There's always going to be certain cards that are always worth money that players aren't going to play, and that's going to impact the current standings for the meta game. And I feel like these are one of the cards. Don't get me wrong, if we had like a YCS, maybe we would see more of these. And I think we might. But if you're looking at like Extravaganza remote duel, any remote duel event, if you're even looking at regionals levels, players might not want to spend $270 and then the rest of the deck to do that. So I just find that kind of weird and kind of interesting to note that if players were given all the proper tools, they would definitely change their decks and it would actually change on metagame. And not just Magician Souls only, but I feel like a lot of other cards, like TurboTax's Talents, Forbidden Droplets, Lightning Storm, so on and so forth. Then we have Danko Sekka. This card's amazing. I know I've been talking about Ellic a lot, but you summon Danko Sekka, Ellic player looks at their back row about 8 times, and then tells you it's good, and then you proceed to murder their face. And we're seeing Dryden decks on the player's card. I'm not sure if we've seen any virtual world decks placed in the main or side. I don't think I've seen any, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more Danko Sekkas being played in general. Whatever deck you realistically you're playing, for the most part. I know like virtual world you really want to do your summon, unless if you don't have the spell. Nevertheless, I really do think this card's insane. I really do think this card's one of those cards that any play and it gets any back row deck, you're probably gonna win that game, and that's the game we're playing right now. If you're playing X deck, this X card just craps on you, like it just does. And you're playing this deck, this card does it too. Right now, Ellic players, they're kind of upset hearing this word, but Danko Sekka, really good card if you're playing Elix and you went first, and let's say you didn't go and make you didn't go make Dragoon. Maybe you only made Dragoon and said a bunch of back row thinking you're gonna be able to bring out Golden Lord. Main phase, player priority, summon Danko. You only got a Golden. You only got Dragoons versus whatever I'm playing. So I feel like this card really shifts tempo instantaneously. Of course, we saw a Paleo deck top recently this past weekend, and that really makes me. I was like, oh, Paleos. In my mind, my first thing I thought was Swafrog. What's going on with Swafrog? Ultra Rare Swafrog at an OTS 1 Pack 3 with a $100 market price is roughly around $97. $97 for Swafrog. Now here's okay. So this is safe for what it is. The frog engine itself, Ronin Totem, all the other frogs, Dewfrog, they're all worth a good amount of money. Ronin Totem, you see right there, $12. Dewfrog, $7.50. Like, they're all worth money. And I feel like Konami ultimately will be reprinting all of these. But something like Swafrog is more special. Like, if you have extra Ronin Totems and Dewfrog, sell them. But Swafrog, I don't think you really should sell because ultimately Swafrog at OTS 1 Pack 3 is going to be harder to get. And I'll talk about it later on in this video about what I think about harder to get cards and what's the future of those harder to get cards. And you're really going to want to listen. If you've been buying, you've been collecting, even if you're a competitive, casual collector, you're going to want to have to hear what I have to say at the end of this video about the, well, I guess the easy way to say it is the total card pool of released cards, especially cards like OTS Tournament Pack 3, Swafrogs in circulation within this game. Torrential Tribute is one of my favorite cards right now. Virtual players doing all that little stuff, you just flip Torrential, you're like, you're going too crazy to make that board. I'm gonna have to. Torrential is like the cops for combo decks, and I don't know why, but like I love this card, and like everyone's going, and you're like, all right, yeah, no, Torrential, and then they just go, okay, you know. And when I mean combo decks, I really mean Virtual World. But it kind of hurts Tritons, but really good against Virtual World. But if you specifically want a Hobby League 4 Torrential Tribute with a $19 market price, almost a $20 market price, you're not gonna be paying $20. You're not going to be paying $25. You only start off by paying $50. After that one's gone, you'll be paying roughly around $55, $70, and then after that, by the way, this is also a listing, so that's why I'm saying it. The price point maintains being roughly around $80 for a Hybrid League 4 200 Tribute. Now, you might say, V, the price is going down. Sure. How many Hybrid League 4 200 Tributes are being sold in stores and by players that are willing to sell for $50? I don't know many. I have zero idea. But what I do know is it's a go card. Scapegoat at an OTS 1 Pack 8 currently is holding a $56 price point. The value currently right now in the market is roughly around $56. And I will say that Scapegoat on OTS 1 Pack 8 is dirt cheap. And all the cards I just talked about recently, I didn't say not one of these cards that you should buy. I really didn't. Scapegoat, OTS 1 Pack 8, I'm going to say it all the time. You should buy this card. This card is going to hit triple digits. It's going to happen. And the fact that anyone's going, V, what card should I invest in? As much as I might joke about other cards that people might actually buy, Ultimate Rare Scapegoats at an OTS 1 Pack 8 is the card you should always be focusing on. V, I don't play Scapegoats. I don't play GOAT format. I don't care. Do you not like to invest in the game? Because if you're talking about what to invest in, I'm going to say Scapegoats because this actually has good value. And the fact that you can place a looking and going, V, it's really expensive. At one point in this game, this card was $26. And at that point, people were going, V, this card's expensive. Listen, I'll tell you right now, if you want to invest in this game, you're going to have to spend money. $26, $54, $1. You can set whatever price point you want to spend at. But if you can get Ultimate Rare Scapegoats at an OTS 1 Pack 8, I would highly recommend it because this card price will only go higher. Then we have Treachery coming out. So if you're this card starting to see play in a lot of side decks, with a total on the market price, the value of this card currently, well, unlimited version is about $14 to $15. If you want a first version of Tragic, it starts roughly around $18 to $19. Before I begin, because last time I forgot to end my video, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down below. I'm not sure if I said that or not, but I always forget about saying that, and I always feel like, oh, no one's going to subscribe. Subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down below. I'd greatly appreciate it. Look at the Dimensional Barrier at Invasion Vengeance, original print Secret Rare First Edition. Well, the market price is roughly around $5. Unlimited version is roughly around $5. But if you want a first edition version, that first edition version is starting roughly around $7 for the original print Dimensional Barrier. Now, it's not spiking crazy high in value, but it's definitely making moves on the market. Something you might want to consider if you don't have already. It's a great card. It has a bunch of other printing, so it's not easily to access this card. But if you want the original print First Edition at Invasion Vengeance, once again, $7 is the price point. Inspector Board is another card that's starting to see a lot of more play. I don't know whether I like this card or I hate this card. As an Ultra player, I hate this card because I love Ultra. But as a competitive meta player playing the game right now, I kind of like this card. Inspector Board at Extreme Force with almost a $3 market price for the original version. Once again, original version at Extreme Force. The unlimited versions are at $3s, and the first versions are at $5s. This card should not be at $5. What is happening here? This card should be minimal $10. I'm blown away by the fact that it's at $5. First of all, the meta we're in right now, I find like this card is such a good card. It almost like stuns your opponent without necessarily doing anything other than the fact that you have to fill a criteria in order to like play the game. And if you cannot fill the criteria, you just can't play the game. And I kind of like that about Inspector Border now that I'm not really playing Ultra as much. But I will say it's definitely a card that original print Secret Rare should be worth a lot more. Does it have other printings? Of course it does. It has a Megaton printing, and the Megaton printing is roughly around $2. Duel's Devastator is like 10 cents. But if you want the one that has value, it's either going to be the Megatons or the Extreme Force. Megatons have lower listings. I think the original print, personally speaking, original print first editions are the way to go. Overdrive Teleport still playing, I think, one virtual deck this past weekend, and I'm not sure that's going to be something that can possibly blow up more. In case you're wondering, V, why do I care about Overdrive Teleporter? Even though I play Virtual World, why does it matter to me? It should matter to you a lot, because this card used to be like $8. Only in printing in Crystals of Chaos, a set that Black Rose Dragon came out in, Overdrive Teleporter Secret Rare with a $23 market price, Lightning Play Unlimited, is roughly around $21. First edition start roughly around $29 for this listing. After that one's gone, that price jacks back up to $46 for an Overdrive Teleporter. Once again, you're gonna want to focus on this card. I'm just throwing it out there. We saw it play one virtual deck. All it takes is for a couple more plays to play on top with this card. It's run at 3, not 1, by the way. This card is, well, for the most part, a card that you really want to focus on. Like I said, I think a lot of people are ignoring this card to their detriment. And if you do ignore it, you're going to be paying Primo Dollar later on. Get it now. I know it's a lot of money, and Konami hasn't reprinted this card, but it is a card that I think a lot of players are just forgetting about. And when people forget about something that's kind of seeing play, it can be mainstream eventually. I guess about Blazing Vortex again, V. Well, kind of, but not really. One thing I just want to know about Blazing Vortex that was kind of confusing to me is we didn't see as much Pot of Prosperity being played. Not a lot of people were playing Pot. Ridiculous. I don't know if it's because the event didn't allow it. I honestly don't know. But I haven't seen many builds of decks running around playing Pot of Prosperity. The card's currently holding at $88, and it's stabilized, by the way. Stabilized. Very important. I mean, I guess we could say a little bit after release. Not fully after release, but I like to wait like a week and a half. But right now, the card currently is stabilized with an $88 market price. The value of the card's currently $88. And that's a stabilized price point. Meaning, the card's hover price is $88. It has two choices. Yes, the third's always gonna be her dirt. It could say the same. We know that's not gonna happen with this card. There's players right now holding a place of the Prosperity secret rare going. Do I sell? Do I not sell? I got $88. Let's say $90. I like to round up $270 in 3 cards sitting down. What do I do with this? If this is going to go low, I'm going to sell immediately so I don't get banged as it goes down. If it's going to go high, I'm going to babble to my friends about, I got Prosperity at $88. How much you got it for? And they're like, $800. I had to sell my kidney. Listen, this card is a good card. I don't know if it's going to see play or not. And if it doesn't see play, it's going to tank. If it does see play, it's going to spike. That simple, that basic. If you have paper hands, it's going to melt through your hands because you're going to want to get that money. You want that paper. Or you want to hold diamond hands and you want to hold this card and let it rise if it does rise. But if it doesn't see play, $88, you're going to look at dummy for buying in on this card. But if it does see play, $88, we've seen what happens with cards that were roughly around this kind of price point. Forbidden Droplets, Triple Protected Talents, they were even lower than this price point, and now they're each, one's 100, and one's 120. That can definitely happen with Power Prosperity. So, I mean, for anyone that already owns this card, holding it, I salute you, good sir. I'm not dropping $270 for the chance of this card not doing anything. No. Do I think it's a good card? Yeah, this card's amazing. But is it good enough that it could see play? The meta will always dictate that. Not you playing your one deck at home. The meta, the entire play base. They will let us know if it's good or not. I like this card. I want it to be good. Because like I want to get the Starlight Rare, which dropped $100 by the way. The Starlight Rare I can see right now is $410. Used to be roughly around $500. I like it dropping. I want to get the Starlight Rare. But at the same time, for anyone that's holding the Secret Rare, or maybe even the Starlight Rare, good for you. Yeah, you want this card to do good, but can it do good? And that's kind of my main concern with Power Prosperity right now. It's in this weird pendulum phase where it's swinging lost money, good money, lost money, good money, and we don't know where to stop. I can't seriously, honestly, tell you where I predict this card's going to go. But if this card was allowed this past weekend, the answer would be down, if I had to guess. If this card wasn't allowed this past weekend, well, what are you doing with those 3 cards? That's a lot of money. $270? Whew, you could buy a lot of good clothes with that. You could buy a lot of good Pokemon cards with that. I don't know, man. You can buy a lot of stuff with that. So that's why I always get like. And it's the same thing. And this is kind of in the same situation as Riches and Souls. Not as I think this card could definitely see more play than Riches and Souls, but it's in that like it's worth a lot of money. Is it worth holding it? And in your mind, you got like 2 guys going. One guy's going, man, I need new shoes. The other guy's going, man, this card's going like to the moon, bro. What are you doing? So I don't know. Look at the rest of Blazing Vortex is basically being Blazing Vortex and taking in value. It's absolutely tanking in value. I think we all kind of knew that though. And then we have the United We Stand. So what I want to talk about, actually, I got a shave by the way. What I want to talk about actually was specifically the card pools in this game. If anyone's been playing this game a long time, like that's a fossil like I am, I don't think we ever saw plans for the long future of this game, or I should really say, I don't think we ever formulated the value of the lot of cards that we had 5 years ago, 10 years ago playing this game. I really don't. I could not have fathomed the value of the cards I had in my binder 5-10 years ago. I really couldn't. And if you're a new player, right now you have a binder of cards, I don't think you can fathom, or I can even fathom, the value of those cards currently in your binder. Even some dollar binders. I would kill to go and buy a store's dollar binder 10 years ago. Wouldn't you? 10 years ago? I would clean that binder out easily. Would you not do that? Of course. Why would you not? A lot of those old secret rares. You know what? Give me even what do we give me like, let's see. Give me around when Ghost Rare start like not seeing as much play. Ghost rares, they were dirt cheap. I'd clean that binder out. I'll be like, how much for all these ghost rares? Which one? All of them, the ones I don't see play. Oh, $50, all right? First edition mint condition, ghost rare, whatever dragon, any card, period, I'll take it. What I'm trying to say is, as time goes on, this game grows more and more in players. And the game is growing more and more players. Even though this game is just absolutely atrocious at getting new players in, the current players are really good salesmen at getting new players to join the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think the minute Konami unlocks the Da Vinci Code of getting new players, it ain't hard, by the way, Konami, but it locks the, that's like, seriously, if you never need help, email me. But there's a way to get new players in this game, younger, which is important because they grow with the game. But, like, as we get more and more players in this game, the card pool doesn't change. What I mean by that is, let's say next month we get another 1,000 players playing the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's actively playing the game. They're actively doing remote duels, okay? Even 100 players. Let's say only 100 players, okay? We'll even go a lower number. They're actively playing the game. They're actively doing remote duels. They're actually getting involved in the game. Out of those 100 players, the card pool doesn't change. United We Stand, the promo version, that I think it was only 231, I believe, that were given out. That doesn't change because the new players came in. Fast forward now, we'll do a year, 1,000 players, 5 years, 10,000 players, 10 years, more players, just more players. But the card pool doesn't change. Not just saying I stand. We can think about that and go, okay, that makes sense. What about First Edition Monster Reborn? First Edition Monster Reborn is insanely hard to get right now. Okay? The card's not only insanely hard to get, but it's very, very, very expensive. So I'll look at the Legend of Blue Eyes version. Once again, we're going to First Edition. I said, let you play it unlimited, by the way, currently $15. And if you look at Ghost Rares, when the First Edition got bought out, the unlimited started getting bought out. That will happen with this, by the way. So you have an unlimited version, you're going to want to listen, like I said. So if you are a casual collector or casual player, that's important for you. I'm not talking about like a Spanish Monster Reborn. I'm talking about First Edition Monster Reborn. Once again, looking at it, yeah, this is a PSA 8 Monster Reborn. First edition, and it's $1,000. Now, that's a lot of money, you might say. And go, V, obviously, Legend of Blue Eyes Monster Reborn, $1,000. I can't invest and wait 10 years for that. It's insane. Come on, man. That's fine. I respect that. Here's what you're not understanding, though. I'm not talking about just Legend of Blue Eyes. I'm talking about every set, every card. Is it hard to get now? Imagine 10 years from now. How hard would it be to get? Is it hard to get Monster Reborn now, first edition? Oh, yeah. Fast forward that by 10 years, and a tremendous amount more players coming back to this game. One thing the Magic the Gathering community, I don't think ever expected, was to see the game get so big, and the card pool still stay the same. So things like Power 9, for my Magic the Gathering viewers as well, Black Lotus, the cards we all know, whether you play Magic or don't play Magic, as the players grew, the pool stood the same. So the value of the cards exponentially increased every year. Boom, increase. Boom, increase. Boom, increase. Constantly. The game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ain't going anywhere. It's going to be obviously growing more and more and more and more and more. And I'm not just talking about like Legend of Blue Eyes cards, but maybe cards that might be in Phantom Rage. Believe it or not, as much as we laugh about it, even in this atrocious dumpster fire of a set, Blazing Vortex, there might be cards in this set that are worth so much more money than what we're currently seeing it as, that we can't fathom it. Give you a good example. In 2015, you could buy a first edition first edition Stardust Dragon for $75. First edition near mint Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon, $75. Okay, that's about what we'll say, just to save time, 6 years ago. I think it was like less than 6 years ago, because whatever. We'll say 6 years ago. Okay, so Stardust Dragon. As you can tell, we didn't really prepare properly. Look at Stardust Dragon right now with $272 market price. The value of the card, if you want to get first edition near mint, is $5,000. V, no one's paying $5,000. You're right. Lighty played first edition from a guy with 28 sales. We'll take him $1,200. The card was $75 in 2015. It's currently $1,200. V, no one's paying that. Okay, fine. Unlimited version, $600. It was $75. Why is that? Simple. The amount of players grew bigger and bigger. I mean, I gotta do it like this, okay? Bigger and bigger and bigger. The card pool never changed. Obviously. Once again, I think I know I keep saying that card will never change, but I think as players, when people are not understanding now, just like back in 2015 when I didn't understand, just like back in 2009 I didn't understand, 2004 I definitely didn't understand, was that this game is going to grow and not go anywhere. Despite a comet hitting Earth, Konami, as a huge company, will always promote Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it makes them money. It's not going to change. The amount of players in this game will always change and will always increase. For the most part. The amount of cards in the card pool, that might change as time went on. Obviously, Konami did not print as many booster boxes of Bluestar Dragon as they did Blazing Vortex. But get this. The cards now, the pool's already done. Konami's not going to wait 5 years and go, anyone first in the booster boxes of Blazing Vortex, we just have like 80 more cases lying around. We're just gonna throw it back in the card pool. The pool's not gonna be replenished. Now you have that information in your head. Let's rewind a little bit. And I know I'm going off on a rant. The market watch is done at this point. I just really want to. I want to lay this on you guys. I really want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. For those who watch my longer videos. Right now, there's secret rares in this game from older sets, original prints, first editions, that are relatively inexpensive. There's ghost rares that are not expensive. They really aren't. There's star foils, and I don't even like star foils. They're not that expensive. There's dual terminal cards. They're not expensive. There's ultimate rares that are dollar cards that are garbage, but they're not expensive. Fast forward 10 years. They're not maintaining the same price by Paisanos. They're just not doing it. Just like we saw with ghost rares, with some other ultimate rares, some other secret rares, other cards will fall into the fray and spike tremendously in value. And that's for those who are watching this video right now, the collectors, or those who play but still want to hold some cards that have good value. Hey, listen, if you have some cards that hold good value, throw them to the side, put them in a binder, double sleeve them, forget about them. Come back later, they'll be worth a lot more than you ever expected them to be worth. My collection is worth a lot of money, not because I invest so heavily, which I do put a lot of money for the cards, I love the game, but it's worth so much money because I held on to my cards. Because one, I'm a shut-in and I don't really like to trade or sell as much, but two, because the value is constantly increasing in this game. Not because the cards are really, in certain cases, some cards are really blow up, but because how hard is it for you to get any card, X card? If it's hard for you to get, I want it ×3. Anyway, Paisano, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Please, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Hit the like button, comment down below. It's your boy V. You Paisanos have a great day.